Baru 62 yang join ya. Opening. Ya. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahilladzi arsala rasulahu bil huda wa dinil haq liyudhhirahu 'ala dini kulli wa kafa billahi syahida. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la syarikalah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allahumma shalli wa sallim wa barik ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. Good afternoon, Mr. Natangsa Surbakti. How are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Alhamdulillah. Good afternoon, all participants. Welcome to International Conference Restructuring and Transforming Law. This is the last session is today. So we must be let's opening this discussion. My name is Nugroho, and I'm the Director of Faculty of Law at Muhammadiyah University of Surakarta, and I will be serving as your moderator today. You will be hearing a presentation from Mr. Natangsa Surbakti on this very timely subject. But before we get started, I want to take a few minutes of your time to remind you all of rules during session. Once, if you have a question, please raise your hand. And the second, all participants, please open the camera. All right, before starting, I will read the speakers. Our curriculum vitae, name Natangsa Surbakti, place of birth, Langkat, North Sumatra, Indonesia, date of born 25 April 1959, marital status married, profession lecturer of Faculty of Law of Muhammadiyah University of Surakarta, Lecturer of Magister Program Science of Law UMS, Lecturer of Doctoral Program Science of Law UMS. Education undergraduate Faculty of Law Gajah Mada University, postgraduate Magister of Law, Science, Diponegoro University, postgraduate, doctoral program of Law Science of Diponegoro University. Published book, selected issues in criminal law, selected issues on philosophy of law, philosophy of law, the development of thought in its relevance with law reform, restorative justice in frame of imperial theory and policy, and the last principle of Indonesian criminal law based on Indonesian penal code. All right, now moving along to our session, please welcome Mr. Natangsa Surbakti, who will be speaking to us on criminal law, white-collar crime in the digital era perspective. Mr. Natangsa Surbakti, time is yours.
Dear participants, I am very pleasant to meet you this afternoon on the international short course Law in the Age of Digitalization, Expansion and Regulation. The topic that we will talk this afternoon is criminal law, white-collar crime in the digital era perspective. Firstly, we say thank you very much to Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for the blessing of our life, our healthy, our prosperity, and the occasion that we can meet at this afternoon in the international short course on law. Dear all participants, our theme, criminal law, white-collar crime in the era perspective. We find four and the fourth perspective. We'll talk about this topic in this afternoon, and I would like at the end of our meeting we can discuss. If the first one is digital era. Digital era is the period of human life that characterized by digital technology, which increased the speed and breadth of knowledge turnover within the economy and society. Digital era is a period where a shift process occurs from industry-based to an information-based economy using computer or other technology devices as medium or communication. And another definition is digital era is a time in which there is a widespread, ready, and open access to sharing of and use of information in electronically accessible. Now we can find here are indicators of digital era. First one, websites. The second, buy and selling online. The third, smartphones. 4, digital televisions. 5, video streaming. 6, e-books. 7, digital music. 8, geolocation. 9, blogs. 10, social media. 11, computers. 12, printers. 13, self-scan machines. 14, ATMs. 15, digital cameras. 16, cars and other vehicles. 17, clocks. 18, robotics. 19, roads and guided machine. 20, banking and finances. Here, the examples of digital technology. There's another examples of the digital technology indicates the digital era. Now we can see what's the benefits of digital technology. Here are 14 of benefits of digital technology. The first one is increase access to education, higher productivity levels, more efficient communication for easy of networking, faster dissemination of news, easy of information storage, expansion in job and opportunities, higher incomes, free time for entertainment and leisure, improvement in government, better law enforcement, improvements in the health delivery system, faster economic development, and an unprecedented increase in overall economic development and standards of living. Now, we'll try to see what's the meaning of perspective. The first one, the art of drawing solid objects on two-dimensional surface so as to give the right impression of their height, weight, depth, and position in relation to each other when viewed from a particular point. We find a term of perspective drawing. The second one, a particular attitude toward or way of regarding something, a point of view. Here we can find the term most guidebook history is written from the editor's perspective. So the participants, we can say that the meaning that we use in this discussion is the second one. Digital era perspective. Digital era perspective can be defined tentatively as a point of view on special topic, especially a topic that attractive and subject to discuss. So white-collar crime in the digital perspective can be defined as a discussion about white-collar crime and its correlation with the digital technology and how the criminal law react on the presence of the contemporary white-collar crime. Now, we see what's the meaning of criminal law. Definition of criminal law given by Muhammadiyah. Criminal law is a part of overall law enforced in a country which provides the basis and rules for first determine which action may not be carried out, which are prohibited, accompanied by threats or sanctions in the form of certain penalties for those who have violated the prohibition. Second, determine when and in what cases those who have violated this prohibition may be subject to or be subject to criminal sanctions as has been threatened. And the third, determine in what way the imposition of the penalty can be carried out if there are people who are subjected of having violated the prohibition. The participants. Regarding the first or the above formulation regarding the determination of criminal acts, while regarding the second mentioned is regarding criminal liability or criminal responsibility. All regulations governing these two matters are called substantive criminal law, namely regarding the contents of the criminal law itself. Then the third mention is regarding how to do the procedure to sue to court against people suspected of committing a crime. Therefore, this section of criminal law is called formal criminal law, or procedure criminal law. Here is the definition given by Jan Remmeling. Jan Remmeling said that the term criminal law is used to refer to all the provisions that stipulate what conditions are binding on the state. If the state wishes to issue a criminal law, as well as rules that define what types of punishment are permitted. Criminal law, in this sense, is applicable criminal law or positive criminal law, which is also often called jus punale. Such criminal law includes, first, orders and prohibition of which violation against them by agents authorized by law are associated threats with punishment, norms, and that must be obeyed by anyone. The second, provision that stipulate what means can be used as reaction to violation of these norms. Third, rules that temporarily or within a certain period of time set limits on the scope of work of the norms. Now we face white-collar crime terms. What does it mean by white-collar crime? White-collar crime terms introduced by sociologist and criminologist Edwin Heather Sutherland in 1939. That means types of crimes commonly committed by persons of respectability. People are recognized as possessing a high social status. White-collar crime is a non-violent crime where the primary motive is typically financial in nature. White-collar criminals are usually occupy a professional position of power and prestige, and one that commands well above average compensation. White-collar crime is a type of crime committed by a person of respectability and high social status in the course of his occupation. Now we see the classifying white-collar crime. White-collar crime is commonly subdivided into two broad general categories. First one, individual crimes. Individual crimes are financial crimes committed by an individual or a group of individuals. An example of individual white-collar crime is a Ponzi scheme, such as the one run by Bernie Madoff. Other individual crimes in this category include identity theft, hacking, counterfeiting, and any of dozens of fraud schemes. The second one's corporate crimes. Some white-collar crime occurs on a corporate level. For example, a brokerage firm might let its trading desk employees engage in an insider trading scheme. Money laundering may also be conducted on a corporate level. How to identify white-collar crime? Here we can see the characteristic of white-collar crime that distinguish it from other crimes in general. First one, it takes a long time to prove and also requires certain skills. When it comes to the organization, it is difficult to find someone who is responsible, usually directed at superiors for not preventing or at subordinates for not following superiors' orders. Third, the process of victimization is also disguised because the perpetrator and victim do not face each other directly. The fourth, the complexity and disguise of the perpetrators makes it difficult to trace them. 5, the perpetrator usually has ambiguous criminal status. This is 5 characteristics that can help us to identify the white collar crime. Now we see elements of white collar crime. A crime can be classified as a form of white collar crime if it meets the following elements. First one, deliberately committing an unlawful act. Second, detriment to the state and society. Third, his actions are prohibited in criminal law. The fourth, performed by certain people, namely people who have an honorable title or position. Dear participants, now we can see that the digital technology have the role as contributing factor on enhancing the white-collar criminal crime. The explosion of the internet and ever-advancing technology has been accompanied by a corresponding rise in what is referred as cybercrime, which is comprised of a myriad of online fraud schemes and various forms of phishing for people's personal information to commit the crime of identity theft. Cybercrime is basically any crime that is committed with the aid of computer technology. It is difficult to keep in mind that the term hacking, where a computer criminal breaks into a large database, such as the credit card records of a retail store, to steal both identity information and money, didn't even exist in the mainstream cultures 30 years ago. Also, many consider the terms phishing, email scam, and the all-encompassing cybercrime as foreign. Computers gave us tools and capabilities that formerly didn't even exist. However, progress always comes with a price, and the price tag for our computers and cell phone connected world is a whole new category of crimes that, like computers and cell phones themselves, simply didn't exist until the advent of new technology made such crimes possible. Let us see now types of white-collar crimes. There are 8 of white-collar crimes types that well known. First one, corporate fraud. Second, securities and commodity fraud. Third, healthcare fraud. Fourth, mortgage fraud. 5, insurance fraud. 6, mass marketing fraud. 7, welfare fraud. 8, money laundering. Now we'll see one by one types of white-collar crimes. First one, corporate fraud, is a term that refers to accounting scams, self-dealing by company executives, and obstruction of justice, as well as insider trading, bribery, and misappropriation of company property for personal gain. The second one, securities and commodity fraud, crimes that take the form of stock market manipulation, high yield investment fraud. It is well known as Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes, and prime bank schemes. Cash advance fraud, hedge fund fraud, commodity fraud, foreign exchange fraud, and broker embezzlement. The third, healthcare fraud, is a crime that includes the willingness of medical professionals to risk harming patients by schemes of cases of healthcare providers performing unnecessary surgeries, prescribing dangerous drugs without medical necessity, and engaging in abusive or substandard treatment practices. Other scams involve fraudulent billing for services not rendered and renewing fees for services rendered. The fourth, mortgage fraud, is a financial crime involving falsifying loan documents or trying to illegally profit from the mortgage loan process. The fifth, insurance fraud, is an act of fraud that is deliberately committed against or by insurance companies and agents with the aim of personal financial gain. The sixth, mass marketing fraud, is umbrella term for any fraud related to communication media such as telemarketing, mass mailing, and the internet. Mass marketing scams take many forms that share a common theme: the use of false and or deceptive representation to induce potential victims to make advance payments to the fraudsters. The seventh, welfare fraud, is a term that refers to the use of deceptive statements, practices, or devices to unlawfully benefit from public assistance. These benefits can include usual social security payments, food stamps from supplemental nutrition assistance program, unemployment benefits, housing assistance, and workers' compensation payments. Welfare fraud, while considered quite large in scope, is usually perpetrated by individuals whose social and occupational status may not easily permit their categorization as white-collar or job offenders. The last one, money laundering, is the process by which illegal profits are disguised as legal income. A more formal definition is offered by the National Institute of Justice for Money Laundering. The process of converting illegally acquired assets derived from cash into one or more alternative forms to cancel aggravating factors such as illegal origin and actual possession. Participants will see cause factors of white-collar crime. What are the cause factors of white-collar crime? When Edwin Sutherland first coined the term white-collar crime, he wrote, "A hypothesis was needed that would explain white-collar crime and low-level criminality." The answer Sutherland gave to his own challenge was that white-collar crime, like any other systematic crime, is learned. He went on to apply elements of his famous theory of differential association to white-collar crime, saying that it is learned in direct or indirect relationship with those who have already practiced the behavior. Meanwhile, according to Travis Hersey and Michael Gottredson, white-collar criminals are motivated by the same forces that drive other criminals. They are self-interest, the pursuit of pleasure and avoiding of pain. Heresy and God-version include, however, that criminologists are mistaken in assuming that white-collar crime is common or that it is as common as form of criminality found among the lower classes. They reassured that the personal characteristic of most white-collar workers were exactly what we would expect to produce conformity in behavior. High levels of education, commitment to the status quo, personal motivation to succeed, respect to others, concern for conventional appearance, and other inherent aspects of social conformity all tend to characterize those working at the white-collar level. It's not the kinds of personal characteristics associated with the commission of a crime. Another reason was criminologists mistakes on the assumption of high white-collar crime rates is because white-collar research take the organization as the unit of analysis and confuse the crimes committed by organizational entities with the people within those organizations. Similarly, rates of white-collar offenses tend to lump together corporate crimes with crimes committed by individual representatives of those organizations when making comparison with rates of criminal activity among blue-collar and other groups. A complementary perspective by Australian criminologist John Braithwaite says that white-collar criminals are often motivated by the difference between corporate goals and the limited opportunities available to business people through conventional business practices. When pursued to achieve goals that might otherwise be unattainable within the existing framework of laws and regulations surrounding their line of business, innovative corporate officers may turn to crime to meet organizational demands. Braithwaite believes that a general theory covering both white-collar crime and other forms of crime can be developed by focusing on inequality as the main explanatory variable in all criminal activity. New kinds of criminal opportunities and new pathways to immunity from accountability arise from the unjust concentration of wealth and power. Inequality thus exacerbates the appeals of poverty motivated by the need to survive as well as the appeals of wealth motivated by greed. Now, we'll see what's the cause factors of white-collar crime in Indonesia context. In the Indonesian context, there are several theories that can be used to explain the factors that led to the emergence of white-collar crime, namely terms of history, culture, and human nature as follows. The first one, based on differential association theory. According to Edwin Sutherland, the originator of this theory, he argues that crime is learned from human behavior, which can be drawn from experience, historical factors, so that it can explain the causes of crime. He explained that crime can be influenced by the environment through the learning process. Meanwhile, Gabriel Tarns argues that a crime committed by someone is the result of imitating crimes that already exist in society. Now, the second, based on the subculture theory, that what causes the white-collar crime is Indonesian culture. Former Vice President Muhammad Hatta once said that corruption has become a culture in Indonesia. Along with developments, the culture of corruption in the bureaucracy has also penetrated into corporations. Since the New Order era led by President Suharto, corruption, collusion, and nepotism have occurred for approximately 32 years by officials or high-ranking officials within it. Based on the theory of cleanup and erasure, the wider the organizational structure, the greater the deviation that occur. In organization, both in the government and private sectors, people who commit this deviation are called rogues. Now, the third one, based on naturalization theory, which states that every human being has the potential to make mistakes, especially for people who already have positions, because greed is one of human nature that drives white-collar crime. This potential can be prevented through self-control, ethics, and religious norms. Another cause is still the human factor, is the greed factor. Elite of white-collar crimes are classified as individual occupational crimes. This type of crime is indeed difficult to eradicate because the cause of crime is the greed of the perpetrators. The majority of causes of crime, especially ordinary crimes, are oriented towards the necessities of life, in contrast to white-collar crimes, which are oriented towards greed. If the orientation is need, when the need is sufficient, then it will stop doing. However, if the orientation is greed, then it will never stop, and there will be no satisfaction. How to handle white-collar crime? Here, I offer 4 strategies. The first one, promoting public commitments on ethics. The second one, civil law. The third, administrative law, and the fourth, criminal law. Here are the explanation. Ethical approach to preventing and overcoming the negative impacts of white-collar crime is one option. However, as seen in the empirical world, the ethical approach as a single approach cannot work properly without the support of the use of other instruments. Another instrument that must receive optional attention and utilization is a legal instrument. Utilization of legal instruments in the context of preventing and overcoming the misuse of digital technology and its negative impacts on human life is not limited to 1 or 2 areas of law. In this regard, it is necessary to pay threat that in the world of this credo remains relevant in the context of efforts to prevent and overcome the misuse of digital technology in the misuse of digital technology. First and foremost, prevention and control of misuse of digital technology can utilize civil law. Civil law, in a broad sense, is concerned with regulating personal relationship or regulation under civil law regarding activities are very urgent to be considered by policymakers in each country. The second area of law that has the potential to be used as an instrument for preventing and overcoming digital technology abuse is the field of states administrative law. State administrative law, which is concerned with regulating power, authority, and activities of states apparatus, both within and between state apparatus and between states apparatus and citizens, needs to be formulated in such a way as to prevent and overcome misuse of digital technology by states apparatus. The use of state administrative law as an instrument for preventing and overcoming the abuse of digital technology within state institutions needs to get the attention of state policymakers and legislators to design state administrative law legislation that is compatible with the complexity of the existence of digital technology today. The field of criminal law is the field of law that occupies the last position as an instrument for preventing and overcoming the negative impacts of misuse of digital technology. Support and utilization of the result of criminology studies can assist law designers and drafters of criminal law legislation in anticipating and overcoming the misuse of digital technology. Likewise, the results of criminology studies will be very useful and assist law enforcement officials in dealing with actual cases of misuse of digital technology, either in facing white-collar crime or other crime types. Next, even though legal instruments, both civil law, state administrative law, and criminal law are maximized with the support of utilizing the result of criminology studies, these instruments still have limited capabilities. Basically, effectiveness of law enforcement cannot be separated from the various factors that accompany the law enforcement process from upstreams to downstreams. The factors are mentioned by Surjono Sukanto include laws and regulation, culture and public legal awareness. There are 5 factors that influence the effectiveness of law enforcement. The positive synergy of all the factors will indeed increase the effectiveness of law enforcement in preventing and overcoming the misuse of digital technology on white-collar crimes or others, so that negative impacts on human life can be reduced or mitigated. However, it is not impossible that of those various factors, there are factors that cannot function properly, either due to natural causes or artificial causes. Artificial causes in question are conditions that occur as a result of engineering, conditioning, or neglect. In this context, society and the world of education have a moral burden to carry out continuous monitoring regarding the performance of those factors that influence the effectiveness of law enforcement. Dear participants, now we find the conclusion. The first one, digital technology provides so many benefits on enhancing the quality of human life as a whole, but the misuse of digital technology causes the masses disadvantages in social and economy. Second, white-collar crime refers to differential association theory. It is learned in indirect or indirect relationship with those who have already practiced the behavior. The third, inequality thus exacerbates the appeals of poverty motivated by the need to survive, as well as the appeals of wealth motivated by greed. And the fourth, criminal law should be taken as the last instrument. Meanwhile, ethics, civil law, and administrative law should be prior to criminal law. Dear all participants, that's all what I can say in this occasion. Maybe we can proceed to discussion about the topic. Now I turn back to the moderators, Mr. Taufik Nugroho, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. Natangsa Surbakti. Give applause to Mr. Natangsa. Very interesting material presented by Mr. Natangsa. Mr. Natangsa conveyed clearly about white-collar crime in the digital era perspective. All participants, my friend, my students, anywhere, maybe now is the time for us to discuss. Yeah, may participant who want to ask any question or any opinion, please welcome. Raise your hand or write in the chat. Please welcome all participants. Please, my students or my friends. From India, Vietnam, maybe any question or opinion, maybe, please welcome. All right, waiting participant maybe still prepare to question. Mr. Natangsa, I will next.
While we are waiting for question, topic.
Yes.
While we are waiting for question from the participants.
Yes, please, Mr. Natangsa.
I wanted the material. Yes. So refer to the materials I have present. We can see that it is as what the criminal law explains, that the problem of criminal law is mainly outside the criminal territory. Exactly, outside the main problem of law exactly outside of criminal law.
This means that actually just as what we can read from the material I have present. The main problem is the morality, the greed of recording in progress. So to eliminate or to mitigate the white collar crime, it's the serious problem of the government. Morally,
Here, anyone participant question, Mr. Natangsa, want to answer? Okay, I will read from the game. Question from Patrick Albert Marian. The question: what are the new modes of white collar crime? Please, Mr. Natangsa, to his answer. What are the new modes of white collar crime? The question from Patrick Albert Marian.
Thank you very much for Mrs. Patrick Albert Marian. The question is, what are the modus of white collar crime? We can say that most of the white collar crime had been known before technology, but by the inventing and the advance of the digital technology, white collar crime can be exercised more easy and in broad. So it means that digital technology has its to make the criminal to do the crime as white collar crime. Pawn shell is the one of the easy instrument to use to do such fraud. Instrument to use to do such fraud. I want to say one case that happened at campus Bogor City, Bogor of Agriculture Institute. The case indicates that hundreds of the students have been victim of fintech, financial technology. So financial technology is one of new models in white collar crime. In Indonesia, there are hundreds of financial technology providers, but much of them are illegal. And the police declared that this crime of such financial technology is unorganized crime, and as we see, organized crime is just variants of corporate crime, and includes of white collar crime. Internet is the next one. Internet, it makes the acts of white collar crime so easy to be done. I think there are many models that white collar criminal can do such white collar crime, refer to the condition. I want to say that it was a case during the 19 COVID. There was a minister of social and prosperity in Indonesia. He was charged for corruption of social. He was charged for funding for the social funding for those victims of 19 COVID in Indonesia. So I think it is enough the examples of the white collar crime in Indonesia. I think the participant can identify the cases that happen in its countries. Identify the cases that happen in its countries.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Natangsa, for your explain about what are the new modes of white collar crime. Maybe for writing the other participant to preparing question, I will ask one question, Mr. Natangsa. As we know, in Indonesia, there are a lot of reliable hacker ya. Indonesia banyak hacker. But the hacker have never stopped. In Indonesia, many hacker, but have never been chopped. Tidak pernah ada yang tertangkap. What make it difficult for digital crime to catch them? Kesulitan hacker itu kenapa itu Natangsa? In digital crime.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nugroho, Taufik Nugroho. Hacking is a misuse of digital technology that disturb or make trouble on other institutions, technology. Actually, Indonesian police have a department named Cybercrime Division, but it seems that the police has its limited expert. So
the police admit that there are so many
as the police admit that there are so many kinds of digital crime cannot be investigated, and the actor cannot be catch. So it is just same as what I said at the last part of the article. There are 5 factors that influence effectiveness of law enforcement. The first one, the law itself. The law, it is satisfied. The second one, the human resource of the law enforcement. The third one, the facility infrastructure of law enforcement. The fourth, law culture. And the 5, law awareness of society. I think refer to the question raised by Taufik. Hacking is difficult to resolve because the technology of that used by the hackers is more advanced than the technology used by the police one. That's a credo in law enforcement. I think it is well known, not only in Indonesia but also in other countries. In criminology, as well, that crime happens because there is opportunity and intention. Opportunity can be fight from the
advanced technology, internet.
Advanced technology, internet. There are so many persons in the world that can improve the capacity on information technology that can do such as hacking. Meanwhile, the police have not raised such capability to identify what have done, what had happened. Just happened at last month on May, the National Bank Syariah Indonesia
Yes.
find problem that it cannot operate properly because the information system hacked by unknown figure, and the police cannot identify it.
Yes. Difficult, to check
Yeah,
them.
of course.
Yes. Ms. Natangsa, this only one question again.
Okay. This was from
TD Lam. Yes.
Question: what are the influence of white collar crime in digital era? What are the influences? Yeah. I think it is there are so many influences of the white collar crime. Yeah. In one hand, those white collar criminals may easily become rich people. And the other hand, the public that was victimized stay poor. So white collar crime in digital era means the criminal can do white collar crime easily, but the people cannot get what they like to be, what they like on the as a citizen of the states. So the unjust, social unjust, it can be more spreads nationwide. Law enforcement apparatus can study this problem, and it means that the law enforcement apparatus have to develop the capability that can cover all the problems related to white collar crime. That's the answer, Mr. Labib. That's the answer.
Thank you very much, Mr. Natangsa, for the answers. May I be ask one question again, Mr. Natangsa? Maybe the last question. Yes. As we know, everyone in Indonesia, from children to adults,
yeah, please,
everyone use internet to trading. buy something, sell something. How to prevent and overcome digital fraud in digital?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Mr. Taufik. I think the government and parents have to pay full attention on the safety of the children. Actually, there are some software that can prevent the people about the children program in the internet. There are so many of the parents careless on the safety of the child. The teacher in the school, of course, they have limited time to control the students.
As we know,
During the COVID-19, smartphone is very useful to facilitate the
teaching and studying while the students stay at home.
online teaching.
The freedom of using the smartphone
and studying while the student, the children, sometimes consume the unuseful programs or is has negative impact on the growth. So it is useful to realize by the government, the educational staffs, parents, and other all the society members to pay to care on the children in their family to prevent them from the hazard of misuse of smartphone or internet and so forth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for the answer, Mr. Natangsa. Since time is up, we must end our discussion. To all participants, thank you very much for the attention. Thank you very much for the question for Mr. Patrick Albert Marin, Mr. G.D. Lam, and all of participants. We said thank you very much. Before we close this discussion, we can conclude discussion today. The one, digital technology provides so many benefits on enhancing the quality of human life as a whole, but the misuse of digital technology estimates disadvantages is social and economic. And the second, White collar crime refer to differential accession theory. It's learning a direct or indirect relationship with those who have already practiced the behavior. Inequality, this exercise to a file of poverty motivated by the needs to survive as well as the file of wealth motivated by greed. And the last, criminal law should be taken as the last instrument, means while adding civil law and administrative law should be prior to criminal. Thank you very much to all participants. Maybe before we close, Mr. Natangsa Surbakti, do you want to give a closing statement to all participants?
Dear all participants, in this time, I want to say thank you very much for the attention. I wish we'll be success and healthy and happy along. Thank you very much and hope we can meet at next time. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih. Thank you very much, Mr. Natangsa. And all participants, before ending this session, let we take a picture together. Please open the camera. Okay. Take the camera. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Natangsa and all participants. Always be happy and be keep safe and healthy every day. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.